Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be deep diving into custom annotation in Spring Boot. This can be a scenario based questions also in the interview. So, I've just taken a scenario where I'll be creating a custom annotation to validate the book's publication date, and this annotation will validate that the publication date should not be in future. So this is the scenario, and the question here is how would you create and use a custom annotation for this validation. So I hope that this scenario based question is clear. If not clear, let me know in the comment section. And let's get started. I have already done the coding. I'll just give you a step by step process like how to create a custom annotation and how to use that custom annotation to validate this validation to validate this publication date. So watch the video till end to know full concept. Watch the video till end to know the complete implementation of custom annotation in Spring Boot. Let me go to IntelliJ. This is my ID, and here I will guide you step by step like what annotation, what steps, and what change you need to do in order to create a custom annotation. So let's get started. This is a Spring Boot project, and I assume that you know the complete project structure for Spring Boot project, and I have already discussed about the project and project structure. So I would recommend, if you don't know how the project structure and this project is all about, I would recommend to go back and see the other videos in the playlist. Here I will only discuss about the custom annotation. So to create a custom annotation, many times what happens that Spring Boot gives you the built-in annotation that you use to do the validation in your project, but sometimes that built-in validation is not there, and as a developer you need to create a custom annotation. So here I'll just guide you how to create a custom annotation. So I'm creating a annotation that will validate that publication date of the book. Like when you add book, the date should not be in the future. So to create a custom annotation, you need to create an interface. Here you see I have created an interface past or present date, and you have to implement these methods like message method and groups and payloads. And the annotation which will be using in order to create a annotation is at the rate documented, constraint, at the rate target, and at the rate retention. So these are the four annotation that you need to annotate your custom annotation interface. At the rate target annotation tells that this annotation is going to be used for method or for field. So we are passing attribute element type field. And at the rate retention annotation says that this will be applied at runtime. So that policy you need to give. And at the rate constraint where you see we are passing validated by past or present date validator. So the logic will be writing in this past or present date validator. So you need to create another class past or present validator, and here you see this class implements constraint validators, and we are passing past or present date and local date. So since it implements constraint validators, you need to give the implementation for method is valid. And here we are checking that validation whether the publication date is in future or not. If it is in future, we are just throwing, if it is in future, I'm just throwing invalid publication date exception, and the message I'm passing is publication date cannot be in future. Or if you want to send any custom message, you can do it. Here I've just sent this string message with the value, and the way we are checking is value is after and local date now. So whatever the value coming from the request, we'll check that whether it is a after the local date or not. If it is after the local date, then it will throw publication date exception. So this is how you will be creating a custom annotation. So this was the implementation of the custom annotation. Now I will discuss how to use this and where to use this. So as I said, right, this validation will be used on the field label. So here already we have given this at the red target element type dot field. So it says that this validation will be used on the field label. So in the book entity class, I have a publication date. So here you see I'm using this at the red past or present date. So this is the validation that I have created and I'm using on this publication date. So you need to annotate this field with this custom annotation. Once you're done with this, now let's go to the APIs. So this is the post API add book where I'm trying to add a new book, and in the request body you see I'm using at the rate valid annotation. So it will validate the request first that valid publication date is valid or not. Once it is valid, then only it will allow to save that book detail in the database. If it is not valid, it will throw invalid publication date exception. So this is where I'll be using to validate, and let me go to the add new book method. So add new book method, just we are creating an object of book and we are setting title, publication date and author details, and in the end we are saving this book into the database. Once the book is saved, I am also sending the email notification to the users for the new book has been saved in the database. So this is the API implementation. Now I will execute this project and we'll see that validation which we have created is working as expected or not. So let me execute this. The application is started. Now let me go to Postman. So before I go to Postman, let me go to database and let me execute this query. And here you can see that there is 3 record. So when I add a new book, the record will be 4. Fourth record will be added. So let me go to Postman, and here I can change the details. Title I'll give Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and author ID is 1. Publication date I'll be passing, let's say 15. So 15 is not in future with the current date, so I should be able to add this book successfully. And when the book is successfully added, you should also get the email. So let me execute this, and you see I got the response, and the API call is also successful. Status is 200. Now let me go to database and execute this query. You should be able to see the record for the new book. And here you see the fourth record is rich dad poor dad, and publication date is 15th. So the book is successfully added in the database. And I said that when we add a new book, I'm sending an email to the users also. So let me go to email and see whether I got the email or not. So here you see I'm getting this email. A new a new book has been added to the system, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and this was the title of the book. So if you go to request, you can see that the title of the book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. So this was the one scenario where the API call was successful. Now I'll give you the another scenario where the custom annotation will work. Right now the publication date is not in future, so the custom annotation which I created is not even checked. So now let me pass the publication date in future, and let's see that the custom annotation which I have created is working or not. So I'll give some future date, and let's see what happens. So now you see I got that exception. Publication date cannot be in the future, and the date is here, and the status is 400. So this is the response I am getting. It means that the annotation which I created is working as expected. The purpose of creating that annotation is it should not allow future date for publication date field. So it is not allowing, it is throwing an exception saying that publication date cannot be in the future. So the validation which I wanted to do is working as expected. So this is how we'll be creating a custom annotation and will be using in your project. So let's say tomorrow there is any other requirement where you need to create a custom annotation. The process will remain the same. You just need that requirement will be different. So this was the complete implementation of custom annotation in Spring Boot project, and I hope that I was able to make you understand. If you have any doubt regarding this custom annotation, let me know in the comment section. I'll be also adding this code to the GitHub repository, and I'll give that GitHub link in the description section of the video. So if anyone who is watching this video want to try this code, can check out my GitHub repository and clone the code and try it. So I hope that I was able to make you understand, and if you find this video helpful, please subscribe, like and comment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.